In this lesson, we will be graphing and writing parametric equations. So what are parametric equations? We're used to seeing equations where y is given in terms of x. Now x is given in terms of t, and y is given in terms of t as well. We're still graphing on the coordinate system, so when they give us a certain domain, for example, in this case, t goes from -2 to 3, I need to plug it in, see what the x and the y values are, so I can actually sketch this graph. So let's go ahead and start with the first example. T stretches from -2 to 3, so I go ahead and put all of the whole numbers between -1 and 3, and now I need to plug it back in. So if I plug -2 in for t, so -2 minus 1, that's going to be -3. If I plug in 0 or -1, that's going to give me -2. If I plug in 0, I will get -1, 0, 1, and then 2. Now, to find the y value, I plug this t value in the second equation, y equals t squared. So that's going to give me 4, 1, 0, 1, 4, and 9. Now I need to sketch this. So remember, I need to sketch the x's and the y's. I take the x and the corresponding y as a point. So -3, 4. It's going to be this point. -2, 1. -1, 0. So -2, 1. -1, 0. 0, 1. 1, 4. And then 2, 9. And I connect them. So this is a curve. Usually parametric equations are equations of curves. So then these are the points that I have labeled. So what are the endpoints? The endpoints are -3, 4. And the second endpoint is going to be 2, 9. So the domain of this curve is going to be from -3 all the way to 2, and the range is going to be from 4 to 9. So the range still means the y values, and domain still means the x values. So let's move on to number 3. Draw arrows on your graph to indicate the direction of the motion from lowest to largest, t. So we're going to make sure that we draw arrows to indicate how this is going. So the direction of the motion is also called the orientation of the curve or the movement of the curve. So there you go. I just graphed a parametric equation. Pause the video and try number 2 on your own. Okay, by plugging t in, I will get the following x values. So 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, and -2. By plugging the t values in the second equation, I will get the y values, which are -8, -6, -4, -2, 0, and 2. Now I need to sketch that. So I just plotted the points, and let's connect them from the 2 endpoints. So this looks like a part of a line. And remember to indicate the direction. Remember, from the lowest t, so that's the lowest t, and that corresponds to 3, -8, which is this point. So the direction is going to be, or the orientation of the curve is going to be in this direction. So the 2 endpoints are 3, -8, and -2, 2. And the domain is going to be from 3, -2 to, and the range is going to be inclusive. And then from -8 to 2, inclusive as well. So that's number 1 and 2, and that's how you graph parametric equations. Now let's move on to the next page. Okay, so given the parametric equation x equals 5 cosine t and y equals 5 sine t, where t goes from 0 to pi, predict the type of curve that we will get. Let's think about it. Cosine of 0 is 1 and sine of 0 is 0. So then the x and the y values are going to be 5, 0. So that's the first point. And now if I take pi over 2, cosine of pi over 2 is 0, so the x value is 0. And sine of pi over 2 is 1, so the y value is 5. So then there's going to be a point over here for this graph. And let's take now pi. Cosine of pi is negative 1, so that's going to be negative 5. And sine of pi is 0, so that's going to be negative 5, 0 as well. So what I will get is a semicircle because the radius is going to be 5 and the center is going to be 0, 0. Now predict the type of curve. We just did. It's a semicircle. And now we need to check the prediction on our calculator. So make sure that you have a graphing calculator to do that. Okay. Now I need to learn how to, instead of putting this in radian or just degree, I need to learn how to change the mode into parametric and radian. So click on mode. You see where it says radian over here, so you need to highlight that. And then instead of function, go down to function, go over to parametric and press enter. So now I have my graph in the radian and parametric mode. Now if you click on y equals, you'll see you don't see y equals anymore. You see x equals in terms of t, and you see y equals in terms of t. And even when you go to the window, you're not setting up x and y only anymore. You're setting up t as well. So keep that in mind. Make sure when you want to graph a parametric equation to change the mode into radian and parametric. So let's go to y equals and put the equation in. So the x was 5 cosine of t. So for t, you click on the x like you usually do because now it's xt. And since I said the mode to be parametric, this represents t. And now I go to y and put 5 sine t. Now let's graph it. And we see a circle of center 0, 0 and radius 5. Now you will need the graphing calculator for the rest of this section, so please make sure that you have one. And remember to set the mode to parametric and radian. Now let's move on to number 10. In number 10, they're asking me to set the calculator in parametric and radian just like I did, and they want me to put the x value in and the y value in, which is I did. So number 10 and 11 goes with number 9, which is the same equations that I just entered. And they're asking me to set the window in a specific way. So let's go to window. They're asking me to put the t minimum for 0, so 0. For t maximum, I need to put that to pi. So I'm going to click second caret, so that's the pi, enter. And then I need to go to t step, and I need that to be 1. The x minimum to be -6. The x maximum to be 6. And then the y minimum to be -6. And the y maximum to be, so I did something wrong, let me fix that. I need to go back to the scale and keep that as 1. Okay, there you go. Now let's make sure that the graph looks, this is how it looks like. And that's what they're asking you to do in number 10, to sketch the new graph. So our new graph is going to be looking like this. Starting from 5, going up to a little bit over 5, and then stopping a little bit over here. So we're going to go up, over, and then stop here. Okay, so that's the curve that we got for number 10. Okay, in number 11, I'm asked to graph with certain changes to the window and describe the description or sketch a graph to show the difference. So in A, they want me to hit on zoom square 5. So let's see what we will get. If we click on zoom and then 5 for squared, this is what we're going to get. Almost the same graph as the previous one. Now let's move on to B. They want me to, so make sure that you sketch those. Now let's move on to B. They want me to go to window, go to step, and put pi over 4. So remember second pi divided by 4. And now let's graph it. That's what we're going to get. So make sure that you sketch it and make sure that you include the points that you have over here. You don't have to write down the points, just put the tick marks. Now in C, I need to change the step into 0.1. So I'm going to go to Window, go to Step, and put that at 0.1. It's going to look like a semicircle like earlier, the same thing as the previous one. Now let's go back, and now I need to try D, which is basically go from pi over 2 to 3 pi over 2 for T. So pi over 2, so second pi divided by 2, and then go to 3 pi over 2. And let's graph it. So it's going to look like a semicircle, but now it is over the y-axis. Now let's go back to T, and change it from 0 to 2 pi. It's going to be a full circle, but the full circle is starting from here. Keep that in mind. So it's starting from the right, going a full circle. Now let's go to F, and now from 0 to 4 pi. Same thing. It's starting from here and then making a full circle, but maybe you don't see it. Do you see how it's a little bit darker than before? Because it went over twice. Because from 0 to 4 pi, so from 0 to 2 pi, that will create one circle. From 0 to 4 pi, it went one time and then it went one time again. So yes, it goes around, but twice. So let me see if it's a little bit darker. So let me put it back to 2 pi. Okay, and let's graph it. This is how it looks like. Now do you see how there's a little bit of space over here? Let me see if I put 4 pi and now pay more attention to the color. If it's gonna get darker. So that's the first time, and then you see how it's going over again. Maybe the first time you did not realize that, but now when you're looking for it, you can see it. It actually went around twice. Now let's move on to G. Now I need to change the equation. Instead of 5 sine t and 5 cosine t, I'm going to change the equation. So instead of cosine, I'm going to put sine. And instead of sine for this, I'm going to put cosine. Okay, let's graph it. And now pay attention to where it starts. There you go. So it starts from top and then go clockwise. So make sure when you sketch this, make sure that you include the arrows. Okay, now let's move on to H. I need to put negative. So second insert, and I'm going to put negative in here. I'm going to go down and click on second insert and put negative. There you go. So that's what I need to do. Let's graph it and pay attention to where it starts. See how it starts from the bottom and then goes clockwise? So you're going to start from the bottom and then you're going to go clockwise. So make sure that you keep a note of that. Now let's move on to I. So 9. So I'm going to delete that and put 9 sine t. Delete the negative and put 9 cosine t. And now let's sketch it. It's a bigger circle where the radius is what? Let me zoom out a little bit. Maybe that will give me an idea of how much. There you go. I don't know if you can count this. Let's take a closer look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's really 9, but you cannot see it. So let's go to the table. There you go. So at 0, it's going to be 9. Okay. So then that gives me an idea of how big the radius is. So the length of the radius in I is 9. It's still a circle.